These shelters are temporary havens from the violence for hundreds, perhaps thousands fleeing death and destruction, as armed bandits have rendered these lands inhospitable. They will huddle together until it's all calm, as police continue with Operation Rudisha Amani to return the killing fields of Kerio Valley back to normalcy. But it's been many cold nights for communities that have been held hostage by the coldness of gun barrels. The Kenya National Commission on Human Rights is now pointing fingers at those responsible for the years of conflict and bloodletting.
That the speedy legal action taken on politicians and other opinion leaders who have been cited for fueling the current violence in the North Rift, especially within Baringo County and East Pokot Sub-County. Some of these leaders have been frequently mentioned in previous years as perpetrators and sponsors of violence.
One name in particular, the human rights body says has come up many times in the disturbing debate on this conflict.
Specifically, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights calls on the chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on National Security, the Honorable Asman Kamama, to take personal responsibility for having been mentioned adversely by stepping aside to allow for investigations into his alleged role in the spiraling conflict.
In his defense, Kamama dismisses as baseless claims linking him to the atrocities.
My hands are clean, my conscience is clear, that though the perpetrators of this crime will be brought to book, and you will not see Kamama anywhere. That I can confirm 100%.
Cattle raiding is often viewed in the legitimizing context of traditional cultural practices, where warriors would go about it with crude weapons such as spears, bows, arrows. But increasingly, the human rights body says it has more to do with organized crime, commercialized cattle raids funded by wealthy businessmen and politicians to meet the rising demand for meat. The human cost has been immense.
We were given evidence that indeed we are no longer dealing with what is called the traditional cattle rustling, but we have people who are benefiting from this by sponsoring, if you will, this economy of conflict.
The KNHRC says it had sent out a team between the 20th and the 24th of February to find out the real causes of the conflict in Baringo and the cost so far. According to their findings, 10 people had been killed within that period and over 10,000 displaced. A humanitarian crisis looms in the region, especially after security threats were issued against humanitarian organizations.
Mtu akuje kwako, badala ya kuja kuomba kupewa hata chai ama ugali, anakuja na bunduki na kuambia toka na kukula mali yako. Hiyo sio sheria.
Where I was reprimanding the government is that they are coming in too late. I wish they had done this in the beginning when we were crying out about the situation.
Baringo was gazetted a danger zone to pave way for security operation that will cover the entire Kerio Valley belt. Sheila Sendeo, NTV.